Hi BookTube, I'm here today with my January wrap-up. It was a great month, not just quantity-wise, I read 17 books, but also quality-wise. I don't hate any of these books. First, I'll start off with my first DNF, and that is The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie by Mariel Spark. I DNF'd this primarily because I didn't like the writing style. It was very simple, straightforward, and repetitive. Now I'm going to talk about the comics I read. In total, I read 6 comics. The first are a set of 3 from the same series. They are the Valerian and Laureline comics by Pierre Christian and Jean-Claude Mézières. These are from the 1970s, and they're very important. They follow the adventures of Valerian and Laureline, who are spatial temporal agents, which means they travel in both space and time. And these are translated from the French as well. I read 3 of these. I read The Empire of a Thousand Planets, World Without Stars, and The City of Shifting Waters. Now, I've said that these comics are important to the science fiction universe. That means books, movies, TV shows have all taken inspiration from these comics. Specifically, if you look at Star Wars and The Fifth Element, they use a lot of similar imagery and storylines and such. And they deal with social issues, which is what really pushed my enjoyment of these up. Each issue kind of deals with a specific topic, whether it be global warming or gender issues, war, and actually the character of Laureline was inspired by Simone de Beauvoir's Second Sex, so it's really cool to see that kind of early 1970s feminism. Then I read Identity Crisis by Brad Meltzer, Reg Morales, and Michael Baer, and this is a DC comic book, takes place in the Justice League universe, and by golly, I was not expecting that. It starts off, we find out that a member of the Justice League's wife has been murdered, and it's an investigation around why that murder happened, how it happened, and an exploration of a really horrendous moment in the Justice League's past. Then I read Adulthood is a Myth by Sarah Anderson. On a whole lighter note, if you don't know who Sarah Scribbles is, I don't know how you're on the internet without having stumbled across one of her drawings. I love I love how she speaks to my generation, you know, the 20s, 30s generation, and they're just comics that kind of talk about being that age and coming to the realization that adulthood is maybe a myth, that we are given all these responsibilities but still see ourselves as, you know, irresponsible. Then I read The Umbrella Academy Apocalypse Suite by Gerard Way, yes, that Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, and Gabrielle Bay. Simply put, this is about a group of kids who have superpowers that get adopted by a mad scientist, for lack of a better word. But they're not your stereotypical powers, so one can travel in time. One is part human, part cyborg, part gorilla, and part Martian. And one can alter reality by lying, so these really neat powers. You can tell that this is the first in the series. I wasn't quite satisfied with how it ended. I wanted to know more about the characters and more about their origins and such. So I will be continuing on to learn that. Next, I'll talk about the 2 audiobooks I listened to this month. First is Last Command by Timothy Zahn. It's the last book in the Thrawn trilogy, which was the original Star Wars sequel until Disney threw out the canon. We get some really cool concepts in this. Clones are susceptible to madness. There's misconstrued prophecies, methods of predicting military tactics through the studying of that culture's art and such. It's just fascinating. Thrawn is, I said this time and time again, Thrawn is like one of my all-time favorite characters. Then I listened to Meg by Steve Alton, and this was okay. This is about a giant prehistoric shark who eats just about everything in the Pacific Ocean, and it's up to one man to save the day. And it's, I think my problem was with the narrator. He was kind of really monotone, and there were inconsistent times for music. Like, it wasn't always when there was a climactic action scene, there wasn't always music, but sometimes there was, and sometimes it was in really odd spots.